Alright lads, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tom Harlock and I do not have an intro, but I have recently been diagnosed with an excess of brain cells, and per my doctor's instructions, I need to be drained within an inch of my life. And luckily for us, the subject of today's video is quite the neurological tapeworm. This is Oli London, digital phenomenon, visual disturbance.
Jimin, I love you. I love you so much. Saesangs, hey BTS.
British-born Oliver is best known for their very public infatuation with one of Korea's biggest pop stars.
Hey Jimin! No! I'm Jimin!
Alongside their obsession, Ollie has gained a name for themselves in the world of D-list celebrity due to their multiple TV show appearances and their rapid descent into Uncanny Valley. Over the years, I've had many requests to get balls deep into Oliver, and I think it's about time you all deserve a little treat. So for today's video, hold my hand as we wade into the murky waters of Korean pop music, the hysteria surrounding the industry, and one Brit's desperate search for infamy.
I want to look like a K-pop star. I want my entire look to look like Jimin is honestly my K-pop idol.
Seeping onto the scene in 2018, Ollie's first major media appearance was on the digital series Hooked on the Look, with an episode titled "I've spent $100,000 to look like a K-pop star." Jesus, well, hope you kept the receipt. In meeting Ollie, we discover they're a young, spunky Brit who is desperate to look like a Korean pop star and is willing to do just about anything to get there.
Well, I'm not exactly changing my race. Like, I'm not saying that I want to be Asian as such, but I would like to look as close as possible to Koreans, like Korean pop stars and Jimin.
You know, normal behaviour. The transformation from a young Oliver to a middle-aged Avon seller already includes a handful of nose jobs and jawline surgery.
I've also had a blepharoplasty, which basically was work on my eyelids. I also have a silicone chin implant here. So yeah, probably about 75k in total just on the procedures.
And not a single spare pound for a blending brush. With over 2 million views, the episode follows Ollie around a typical day in the life. And first up, a trip to their favourite aesthetics practitioner.
I just kind of want to look like him.
And this is where the ethics of the medical community come into question. Because if I had a young Ollie waltz into my clinic with a Jimin print out and self-esteem through the floor, I wouldn't pull up a pew and get to work. I'd call the mayor of Whoville and inquire about missing persons. Cindy Lou, darling, turn the Christmas lights back on. Your cousin's coming home.
Is there any way you could make my eyes look more like that kind of shape? Like that?
Yes, that is doable.
One possibility. Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, of course Dr. Frankenstein's gonna give you the go-ahead, mate. You're nothing but an experiment, Oliver. Run whilst you got the chance.
I actually look Korean now.
Oh, yeah.
I actually look
Say
Korean.
like that.
And you put the Korean injection in me, I feel Korean. Wow. Just like Jimin.
Yeah, mate, spitting image. If you've got itch-thick cataracts. After the Korean injection, Ollie visits friends for lunch to discuss the updated hardware.
You know, I don't think it's an addiction. I just think it's I have a strong interest in pursuing my goal. It's just I want the perfect face. I'm not going to get addicted.
I think it's a bit too late for that one, so if you came over, I'd be terrified to put the heating on. A few degrees too warm and your Face ID wouldn't have a bloody Scooby.
Who even is this Jimin?
Oh, thought you'd never ask, darling. I've got an algorithm to exploit. 7 boys, 3 letters, and harbourers of one of the most intense fandoms of the 21st century.
BTS!
There's singing, rapping, choreography, and enough members to develop a kinship with at least one of them. Kinda like the Korean Blazing Squad. I think I'm the only person to ever make that comparison. Who wants to be Kenzie?
Please welcome BTS!
Spunked all over Western media in recent years, BTS have broken down barriers that had only ever really been bent by Psy's Gangnam Style. But unlike Psy, BTS's success wasn't a flash in the pan. Pantan Sonoyadan, often translated to Bulletproof Boy Scouts and acromanized to simply BTS, is the world's most statistically successful K-pop group of all time.
Seriously, we would never take this for granted. Thank you so much. Love y'all.
With groundbreaking accolades, multiple #1 albums, and being the first Korean artists I used as background music 5 years ago. You're welcome, boys. The doors I opened, eh? Probably should have shut them behind me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got the medicine, so you should keep your eyes on the ball.
The impact these boys have had is greater than sliced bread. You can't flip open a magazine or turn on the who flips open a magazine in 2022? Well, if you wanted to, you couldn't do it without seeing BTS. Just their mere existence brings billions into the South Korean economy. Their motto of love yourself and their work with UNICEF even led to an invitation to talk at the United Nations.
My name is Kim Namjoon, also known as RM, the leader of the group BTS. It is an incredible honor to be invited to an occasion with such significance for today's young generation.
Guess my invitation got lost in the post, did it, boys? I'm the embodiment of loving yourself. Well, I did remove the mirrors from my house for a year. Maybe I'll catch you on the next one. As with most boy bands, each member brings something unique to the table. But there's only one chap Ollie's hopping on a train to Busan for. Coming in at 5'0", BTS's pocket rocket Park Jimin is a highly trained dancer and the apple of Ollie's eye. But how on earth did a little British toe rag even end up on this path? Well, let's travel back in time to the inception of the infatuation.
So apparently you used to live in Korea. You need to tell me this story, so go for it.
Yeah, actually, I used to live in Korea back in 2013. I was here for a year.
Per an interview I found with a Korean radio station, Ollie provides insight into their introduction to Korean culture.
So I lived in Jeju-si and I worked in a countryside school doing like after-school English teaching, and I just fell in love with Korea.
It's a half hour awash with law building, with my favourite moment being the interviewer's insistence on letting us know Ollie reached out first.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, no, thank you for reaching out to us. I think this is the first time we've ever gotten a chance to actually interview somebody who's reached out to us first.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Jeez, I'll be piss shitting and walking off set, boys. I couldn't handle that embarrassment. But Ollie perseveres, bridging the gap between their initial 2013 visit and their 2018 seep into showbiz. I've used that verb twice now, and I'm going to go for an act trick. Don't you dare police my language.
So in those 6 years, I was, working in London. I was working in fashion. So I was a stylist and personal shopper, then managing some luxury brands.
A stylist? Come on, Oliver. Let's not tell porky pies now, son. Name me a single client who's not blind, deaf, dumb, limbless and deceased. I'm waiting.
I was doing that for a while, and I just I couldn't stop thinking about Korea. Like everywhere I go in London, I go to Korean restaurants, Korean shops. I've got Korean friends.
And I frequently reminisce of the Everglades, but I'm not going to give myself trench fat out of nostalgia. Most people just get a postcard, Oliver, perhaps a fridge magnet. There's no need to rearrange your entire facial structure like Mr. Potato Head. But let's put those pegs back in order for a second, because Ollie's not always looked 20 minutes away from rigor mortis. That's nasty. Half an hour. There are an abundance of photos available online showing a pre-operative Oliver. And if I'm honest, can't look like a normal person. I'll probably go out for a pint with you, mate. Wouldn't leave you alone with a drink, mind you. Ollie's attempts of getting closer to their idol via mimification is, I'm sad to report, not an untapped practice. From Justin Bieber man to the multiple Barbies and Kens, the lookalike business is a thriving industry. Personally, I think being a lookalike, either for love, fun or money, is embarrassing and degrading. Being somebody other than myself, you wouldn't catch me dead, boys. The only reason I haven't popped my own clogs yet is my intense fear of being reincarnated as Mingin. Rather live with my demons than chance being on the wrong side of 5. Despite my disdain, lookalikes from every corner of the entertainment world continue to populate our screens. Attaching your name to an already established brand is a snakes and ladders route to success. It's why there's always one chronically incompetent twin. You ain't got to do much if you have a carbon copy bringing up the average. And it wasn't just hooked on the look where Ollie appeared in 2018. Per the credits on IMDb, Ollie starred as themselves in the X Factor's 15th season for about half a blink. There was also a screen-grabbing 3 frames in Celebs Go Dating. However, they did have a slightly larger role in Channel 4's Rich Kids Go Skint, a programme that attempts to highlight wealth inequality within Britain. Airing in October of 2018, Ollie appeared as friend of participant Kofi.
Why have you brought me here today?
Going to this person's house,
Okay.
who lives kind of on the breadline.
You're going to be maybe eating food that's, from a takeaway shop that costs about £2, £3, something like that.
Not food that's £2 or £3 from a takeaway. Someone call Make-A-Wish, will ya? We need to give him a good send-off. Moving into 2019, and with their name rising through the sea of relevancy like a bloated cadaver, Ollie's next phase in their mission for column inches was put into action, releasing their debut single, Perfection, on February 3rd. Oppa Ollie was introduced to the world. And listen boys, I can't speak Korean, and by the sounds of things, neither can Oli London. Oh, Wally, I have a 1200-day Duolingo streak and a referral code with your name on it, son. It gets better. You can reach out for help. Not to me, though. Do not disturb mode 24/7. Sorry, boys. With over 2 million views and 40,000 comments, the first release from an eventual 14-title album certainly made an impact. And sadly, nobody survived the crash.
Perfection. Perfection.
It's called Perfection, don't you know? The music video doesn't tell us much, other than Ollie has an affinity for tightlining their eyes into tiny little piss slits, and is unable to look at the camera for more than 3 seconds. I do have to give credit where it's due. The more I listen, the deeper the lyrics hit. Not me, honestly. If human beings start living to 150 in that, I'm gonna be so bloody bored. I was disinterested in this tripe before I bungeed out the womb. No offence, mum. I mean, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Only living for fame and fortune. Name me a single other reason why you would, boys. Love's a disease of the mind, and in my opinion, children should be discontinued. Humanity, darling, you've hit your peak. It's just a waste of resources at this point. Perfection was pan, to say the least, but still reached number 31 in the iTunes K-pop charts. I'm willing to accept that I'm a victim of Stockholm Syndrome, but the musical stylings of Ollie London aren't that horrific. Whatever the producer's being paid would never be enough, but I just can't get over the use of human beings as props. It's already too much and we've barely even started. I think one thing they failed to take into consideration is the intense training K-pop idols undergo prior to their seep into stardom. Told you I'd get it, boys. Don't you ever doubt me again! Come here. God, I didn't fear the thing. Get out! Come back! You've got halitosis and it makes me feel sick. Searching YouTube, there are various testimonies from ex-K-pop trainees, denoting their experiences within the industry, often cited as an intense bootcamp featuring rigorous lessons in performance, dance, acting and vocals. There's an entire machine behind these acts, moulding them into a perfect, marketable product. Every move from the media to their footsteps is coordinated and flawlessly executed. And it's this level of theatrics that separates K-pop as a genre. Because K-pop is less about the sound and more about the feeling. And I don't know about you boys, but this makes me feel like shite.
Ollie London.
Ollie's follow-up single, Heart of Korea, is a synth extravaganza featuring about 5 lyrics and sounding like the theme tune to Poppers.
Ollie London. The heart of Korea.
And the body movements of a sim during a house fire. Wow, I am gobsmacked by the authentic costuming. Look at that traditional Japanese Ollie, I think we're blending cultures here, son. I've watched Memoirs of a Geisha. These eyes can't be deceived. But they can stop a man in his tracks with just a glance. Yeah, stylised Western bands exist, but the level of jazz hands just ain't the same, is it, boys? And let's be real here, we were never gonna see Liam Payne in a choppy neon bob, were we? Oh my god, we're gonna see Liam Payne in a choppy neon bob, aren't we? The impeccable costuming, intricate set design, and the lad's commitment to the cause is what keeps the fans eating out the palm of their hands. These boys could tell them to chew on their own dad's batty holes and it'd get 1 million likes. The translation of Bulletproof Boy Scouts inspired the name of their most loyal supporters, Army. And crikey, is there not an online territory they wouldn't raid? Have you ever publicly mourned a loved one on the internet? Well, if so, you've probably been told to stan Luna, stream twice, or donate your stem cells to BTS. K-pop consumers have a reputation of being chronically online, and whilst the other fan bases are big, it's fair to say ARMY is the biggest.
BTS, ARM, why am I this way? It's 'cause BTS taught me how to love and speak and be myself.
Fair enough. You lot don't make it easy for me, do ya? But as beneficial for the business this level of passion may be, it can quickly slip into hindrance. Because despite the positive reputation ARMY have in the media, with a batch that big, you're bound to get a few rotten eggs. Named saesangs, these desperados are obsessors that push the boundaries typical fans wouldn't even dream of, often taking extreme and illegal measures to get as close as they can. Seeking employment opportunities at airports, credit card companies and phone providers, with the sole intention of obtaining personal data, some of which is kept for their own collection, and some is sold to the highest bidder. When discovered, these saesangs are blacklisted from events and ostracised from the communities due to fear of public safety. As you can imagine, the response to Oliver was ridicule from the K-pop fandom, and it didn't take long for YouTubers to start chomping at their bit. I'm filming on the hottest day in England's history, and I'm wearing a fleece. Do you like it? Give me a compliment or I'll leave the internet for another year.
I feel like if he wasn't addicted to this, he would have been addicted to something else.
Totally addicted to bass, wow, or meth. But public shame won't stop Ollie going back for more, and this time they're returning to the motherland.
This is the place.
Beautiful,
this is where they do Gangnam Style.
Ollie's in South Korea, baby, for Hooked on the Look 2. Korea Boo Boogaloo. Alongside girlfriend Frenchy, it's not just surgical refinement Ollie's on the hunt for.
I'm really trying to find Jimin. I'm going to all of his favourite hangouts, favourite places.
Oh god, fancy looking for a shred of dignity whilst you're there.
Oh my god, BTS, Jimin! Oh my god, I love you!
The search continues. Seeking solace in an ice cream shop, Ollie and Frenchy discuss the upcoming procedures.
I want Jimin flavour. Do they have Jimin flavour?
Oh, for God's sake, you're embarrassing yourself now, Ollie. Just sit down and slurp on an obbly bobbly, will ya? The big alteration Ollie is receiving is shaving of the jaw.
But you have to break your jaw?
I don't even know.
Oh my god.
I know. Sometimes it's best not to know.
I mean, ignorance is bliss, I suppose, but if I'm having my mouth infiltrated and rearranged, I would like to be aware and reasonably compensated.
It's going to be tough, but the hospital and you is all I need to make me happy.
Excited to be here.
I mean, you may want to add a Garrett and Deep treatment to that list, mate. Never mind your happiness. What about the 15 strands of sock elastic clinging to your scalp? Hair so lifeless Elton John's writing it a tribute song. Attending clinic, Ollie explains that the negative discourse surrounding their choices does not extend to the people of Korea.
Korean people love me. They're very kind to me, they're very nice, they don't have a problem with it.
Oh yeah, but that's because they have no idea what you're talking about, mate.
안녕하세요, 반가워요.
반갑습니다.
이름이 뭐예요?
네?
이름이 뭐예요? 이름이 뭐예요? Okay.
Yeah, that's not Korean, mate. That's having one too many lines and attempting parcel tongue. You sound like a drowned Furby. An unfortunate consequence of limiting your style to the image of another's is, well, this, to cut to the chase. Oh, God, can someone please bring a defibrillator? It might be too late for that. Perhaps embalming fluid? I'll take a nice plug-in to keep the smell away at this point. I wouldn't say Blonde was your friend, but at least it wasn't your enemy. As is tradition, Ollie rendezvous with a bunch of questionable haircuts for the big reveal.
And I've got something to tell you guys. You might not take it well.
Yeah, take it.
My new face.
knew it! Oh my god! You look like animation character.
Oh yes, young man, we have been aware.
Where does it end though? Where's it gonna end?
Jason, you know it makes me happy, and like, look, I look 18 now.
18! Yeah, 18 minutes in the microwave on high maybe, Oliver. There's no need to deny your age, and there's no shame in getting older. I'm 40 naughty and loving it.
I'm almost done. Just need to do my eyes, a little eyebrow lift.
Almost
Done. Almost done.
Look what happened to Michael Jackson.
You keep the King of Pop's name out of your mouth. Not a chance in my green earth Ollie could have made Dirty Diana.
I'm not Michael Jackson, I'm Jimin. I'm not going that far.
Ollie.
I'm Ollie. Ollie AO.
Nino, someone get the straight jacket. But before we take a one-way trip to the padded cell, or the Black Parade, drop your healthcare off at the gate and collect your complimentary high fructose corn syrup, cause we're going stateside.
Oh my god, Jimin, we're in Hollywood. Oh my nah. Look at the view. Oh my god, it's so cool, right? Wow. Sarang, hey, Jimin. This is the best day ever.
For you, mate. For you. Hopping off a plane at LAX with a cardboard cutout and a nose that half-chewed ravioli, Ollie pays a visit to a notorious Newport Beach clinic. Filmed, naturally, for E's Botched.
I had my blepharoplasty and my first rhinoplasty in Korea. The silicone implant went to the side, so I had to get it done again in China, and then again in Poland, and then again last year in Armenia.
Thanks to their multiple rhinoplasties, Ollie's nose is in a tragic state of disrepair, and they would love nothing more than to get it sorted. But their bubble is burst when the doctors outline the fragile infrastructure and the probability of collapse. Aww. Boop. Got your nose, and I ate it. What are you going to do about it?
All you have is two little pieces of cartilage right here. So even if I wanted to, you can't make this smaller because there's no cartilage here, it's gone.
Oh my god.
Watching Botch truly affirms my belief that once you hit a certain wealth bracket in Los Angeles, you start looking abnormal. It may translate alright over television, but face to face, half the county look like they've developed every bloody allergy at the same time. I'm just so thankful I'm not minging, because I could not be arsed for all this chopping and changing. Be a bit rude to hack at a masterpiece, wouldn't it, boys? You wouldn't look up in the sky and rearrange the stars, would you?
There's a few things that a K-pop star needs. So obviously you need to be able to sing, dance, look good, and have a nose. But if it fell off, I couldn't be a K-pop star. Like, my life would be ruined. I wouldn't even leave the house.
Oh, mate. Well, on the bright side, you could probably pop on a cape and call yourself Voldemort. Do TikTok dances for a career or something. And speaking of soul-sucking demons, if the USA is a circus, then Dr. Phil is its ringmaster. That was my nickname in school. No, it wasn't. It was the ring slave. That's even worse.
I think that Danielle clearly has low self-esteem and self-worth.
Best known for cashing in on the lives of the disenfranchised, Dr. Phil's self-titled talk show displays the best of the state's worst. And on December 12th, 2019, it was Ollie's time to shine.
This has gone beyond being a fan, right?
Yeah, but I'm not like a dangerous stalker. I'm just like a nice stalker. I'm just a fan. Just a fan.
You're just a nice stalker.
From scandalous family feuds to the bahaddest of bahabbies, Dr. Phil's stage is the perfect amphitheatre for Ollie to show the vulnerability the judges have been looking for.
Deep down, I feel sad about myself. Like, I'm always trying to change myself, and I never feel good enough. You know, when I look in the mirror, I never feel beautiful. I never feel good.
Oh, Wally, that's not very nice. The outfit, not the sentiment. I don't believe a single syllable of this entire production.
When I was in Korea, everyone calls me Jimin. When I'm walking down the street, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's Jimin, it's Jimin." Like, everyone. They think I'm Jimin.
No, they do. You barely look like a Homo sapien at this point.
Everywhere you go, Oliver goes with you. and you ought to make peace with him and learn to love that part of who you are.
I mean, Senor Felipe kind of has a point. You are the only you're ever gonna be. I know that might be quite hard for a lot of you to hear, but please don't end it all yet. Just keep watching till the end of the video. I need the viewership.
The bullies bullied you, then they went away, but you said, okay, bye, I got this, I'll bully Oliver.
Hello! Sorry boys, positions filled. Ollie's girlfriend Frenchy was in the audience to dob them in apparently.
You actually believe he's lying and putting himself in procedures that are medically contraindicated. He should not be doing them.
According to her, Ollie misrepresented facts about previous procedures in an effort to convince surgeons to perform more work.
Yeah, that's the issue. He's doing back to back to back. He did 5 surgeries in one day in Korea, which is extremely dangerous.
There's always a psychologist on hand and they always have to assess me. So I always have to lie to them because if I don't pass the test, they're not going to do the surgery. So I just have to...
So you lie to them and they go for it.
Tut, tut, tut. That's very naughty, Oliver. But maybe this is a turning point, mate. The internet thinks you're a mess. Your nose is hanging on by a thread. Let's just be normal for a bit, yeah?
If Jimin was watching this show, there's one thing I would want to say to him. I would literally, I've got a ring, I would literally say, Jimin, I want to marry you because I love you so much. Saesangs, hey Jimin.
No? Alright then, fair enough. Don't ask, don't get, I suppose. 2020 now, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. With any luck. Can someone burn their passport and make it a guarantee? Tying the knot in a drive-through wedding chapel in Vegas, Ollie and cardboard Jimin took the ultimate vow in front of an Elvis impersonator. Classy. I don't think it is alright, Mr. Presley.
Whether the power vested to be the king or pronounced to be partners in life, you may kiss.
I mean, you really don't have to if you don't want to, boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, a nice round of applause for Las Vegas couple. Everybody, come on, let's do Las Vegas.
Cards on the table here, lads. Marriage is a bit of a farce, ain't it? Oh, I love you so much, I want to spend the rest of my life with. Go on then, do it. You don't need a piece of paper, and you don't need to tell the whole entire bloody world. The only thing marriage unlocks is the potential to be divorced. But who am I to judge, eh? Have a nice life, boys, till death do you part. Or until cardboard Jimin gets a bit soggy. I'll give it till the wedding night. But if you think being wed off is going to stop Ollie girl bossing life, you've got another thing coming. Not whilst there's a stage to burn. That's a BTS reference. Do you enjoy me now, Stans? Am I a part of army? Do you want to go to battle? Do you want my big tits in your face? Because that's apparently what I've got to offer. After the overwhelmingly negative response to their debut single, Ollie internalised the feedback and said, you know what boys, I hear ya. But here's another one. And this time we've got a live audience.
So I'm gonna sing my brand new single, Mirror Mirror.
Promoting their new single, Mirror Mirror, at the UK K-pop festival.
Bang, bang, I'll shut you down, and I'm a hand now.
Take another pit! Alright, but we're doing 480p and no flash this time, Oliver. Last time we took HD photos of you, they were used as evidence for cryptids. And the crowd goes tepid. And if you thought the live performance went down like a flush dog end, the response to the official music video wasn't much better.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of us all? Tell me what you see when you look at me.
I mean, without my glasses on, you kind of look like me when I was 4. If I was a failure to thrive, baby. Tom, you can't make jokes about that. Honestly though, I am clinging on to life. Anyone got a blue badge I could have? The one thing I do admire about Ollie is their tenacity. If I was repeatedly told I was shy, I'd probably give up. but Matey Boy's relentless. In 2020 alone, Ollie was on Channel 5's Plastic Surgery Nightmares and ITV's Judge Rinder.
You have an interest in a group. What's a group called?
BTS, it's a K-pop band.
Obviously, the main talking point was Ollie's obsession with Jimin. They're not going to get booked for anything else, are they? Let's be honest.
You've spent a great deal of your energy and time changing your body and face to look like Jimin.
If you aren't a connoisseur of British daytime television, Rinder is our version of Judge Judy. The cases are daft, the people are ridiculous, and the rulings probably wouldn't hold up in a court of law. Ollie appeared in an episode as the plaintiff, requesting cash back from a friend after they cancelled on a holiday.
You make clear that there is a joint purpose for this trip.
Well, I kind of was researching doing a bit of procedures in Dubai, like a bit of surgery, because I thought, why not? We're going to be there for a week and a half. I can fit in a procedure while I'm there.
Well, Wet Look Wally didn't know about these procedures, and they didn't want to spend a fortnight cosplaying as a healthcare assistant, so they bailed.
He stood there, Taran said to me, he said, oh, well, you can go in a walk park and I'll just sit on a sun lounger underneath an umbrella. I was like, oh, what, so I'm meant to go in a walk park on my own?
Oh, God. Well, I would prefer it if you were escorted by a member of the constabulary, but if you insist. Ollie approached the judge, asking for a £500 reimbursement to cover their friend's portion of the hotel.
And is that what you're suing for?
Yes, yeah.
Dressed like a Dementor, apparently. And if you're wondering what happened with the verdict...
Morally speaking, just as he admits, he ought to pay you this money. And I suspect in due course, he'll find a way of doing it.
Absolutely bugger all. Due to Ollie's multiple TV show appearances, their social media profiles went through the roof. Matey Boy has more followers on Instagram than I do, and I'm stunning. Ollie's YouTube videos were gaining millions of views, and for all intents and purposes, their music career was kinda taken off. And thanks to their bizarre stamp on the internet, Ollie's become the talk of the town.
There's this British influencer. I don't know who this is.
Welcome to the club, Wendy. Help yourself to the custard creams on the side. Not the mini pork pies, though. That's my favourite.
He doesn't look like that anymore. He got 18 surgeries to look like a Korean person.
Alright, audience, calm down. It's not that dramatic. Maybe it is, and I'm just desensitised. I am knee-deep in internet shite, so at this point, if it's not abnormal, I'm not interested. My brain is not right. Investigative journalist Wendy Williams would raise a very good question.
What are you doing? And 18 surgeries, so this young man, where do you get all that money? You know what? Priorities wrong.
Well, Wendy, I think I can help shed some light on that one. Once you have enough eyes on you, it's pretty easy to leverage that popularity for free services or just straight up cash. Oliver's body has essentially become a walking billboard for plastic surgery centres across the globe. The opportunity to be name dropped during one of Ollie's press interviews is probably deemed a worthy advertising investment.
I'm super happy to be undergoing these procedures thanks to Longevita UK.
A scroll down Ollie's Instagram or a flick through their YouTube uploads show a whole bunch of trips accompanied by thanks to the clinics and links to their services.
Thank you so much to Atelier Dent for this incredible experience, and thank you to all of you for watching at home. Sarang hey!
Spaghetti carbonara! So, has Ollie actually been paying hundreds of thousands out of their own pocket? Or is that just the accumulative amount of the gifts they've received? Who knows, boys? I couldn't see any declarations of paid content as required by most advertising bodies, so the jury's out on that one. But speaking of my own experiences, I've been offered the works. Full reign of dental clinics, hair transplants, Botox, fillers, you name it. I've had an email asking if I want it. Should probably be a bit more offended by it. No, Tom, you're God's gift. Talk yourself off the ledge. Squeezing the juice out of their newfound platform, Ollie joined in on public discourse surrounding societal issues in the United States of America, posting a series of tweets and YouTube videos.
It's Ollie. So today I want to talk about the very sad news in America, in Minneapolis. It is so wrong and unacceptable.
And the reviews were pretty favourable. Fucky Hadnan said, better side of Oli London, spectrum of peace sign emoji. And I couldn't say it better myself. It seemed like the tide was turning on Ollie's reputation. But hold on to your armbands, boys, because there's a storm brewing in the distance.
Hankook Modern Bundle. Merry Christmas, Dosaya.
Rounding off 2020 and the jingle bells are ringing, and so are my ears. Released on the 5th of December, Ollie turned a green screen, an array of outfits from MK1's 2004 winter collection, and a dream into a hit festive single, Christmas in Korea.
볼로였어 위해 신가나요. 사랑과 기쁨을 크리스마스 나눠요.
Oh, well, Joe Mess Club fell off a bit, didn't she? I've never had a dream come true, boys, but evidently the nightmares keep on coming.
Hi guys, tonight the trolls, they won. They won. You won, trolls.
Moving into 2021 and it's new year, new Ollie. Because they've died! On May 27th, Oli London's Instagram account was memorialised, prompting rumours to circulate that they ended it all. After letting the internet stew, Ollie emerged with a restored account, tales of being hacked, and their sights on an Oscar apparently.
I'm so shaken, guys, right now. Like, I can't even say in words, like, what this has done to me. I'm, like, shaking.
Wow, what an emotional and powerful performance. Someone get a bedpan, will ya? Meryl Streep's just about soiled herself from envy.
You will never cancel me, trolls. I am the king. I'm the king of Korea. And I'm the king of K-pop. I'm the emperor of Korea. I will never be cancelled.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure about that, Oliver. Keep the furnace burning, boys, because alive or dead, the funeral of Ollie London is about to begin. And the first person to throw a match was beside us the entire time. Don't think cremation's a group activity, but it bloody could be. Alright, new post-life plan, boys. Spritz me with fry light and torch my lifeless cage with the embers of a Marlborough Gold. Alright, Tom, that's the clip you send to your psychotherapist. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it.
Cast as their eccentric mate, Frenchy Morgan is a former model and general lunatic herself, really, having had her own Hooked on the Look episode.
I want anything except a natural look. I need to look fake, I need to look plastic.
Mission complete, darling. If you are the owner of approximately zero taste, you may know Frenchy from VH1's Rock of Love 2. And if you're from the UK and are unable to change the channel, you may remember her from 2014's Celebrity Big Brother.
Big Brother has spoken to Frenchy about her behaviour.
She's got to go. That's spoken. My life is in danger here.
Watching clips from Frenchy's stint in the house, and I couldn't help but wonder, who on earth is producing this drivel, and how do I get in contact with them? Me, in a house full of washed up pond scum, with the sole intention of stirring the pot? Pass me the seasonings, Anne Boleyn. I'll bring the slow cooker.
Hey guys, we can't take this. She is destroying all of our food. You stinking French slut!
Oh, go on, Les, eat her alive. Ollie and Frenchy's relationship seems to be fueled by their desires to be seen. One of the earliest videos I can find of Ollie features them at the launch of Frenchy's reality show, Frenchy's World.
Tell me a little bit about the show.
Okay, so I'm filming Frenchy World.
Okay.
The next 6 months.
Okay, Frenchy World.
Frenchy World is already on IMDb.
Okay.
Sometimes they're mates, twins, or lovers. But whatever their feigned relationship, they use one another in tandem in an effort to grab whatever attention they can. And I'll be honest, boys, I do kinda love it. In one vintage clip, the two are fumbling around in a gas station, attempting to appear oblivious, while some chap films them for a 10-foot clear window. That's it, lads, act natural. You can look any other way than the big man filming you through the window. Oh, for God's sake, Frenchy, you had one job! There's just something about them that makes me want to monitor their whereabouts with an ankle bracelet. People who don't brush their tongue, Disney adults, and these two. Stick them all on a register and I'd sleep better at night. In the videos I've watched, and I've seen a bloody lot of them, it appears Frenchy is a bit of a mentor to young Oliver. The power dynamic is pretty blatant. Ollie follows Frenchy around like an echo.
I feel like I'm being rude. Who is this? How you doing, guys?
How are you doing? So I'm Oli London. I'm Frenchy's best friend from the UK.
But as Ollie will soon find out, if you bite the hand that feeds you, you're gonna be left to starve.
This is your girl Frenchy Morgan. The next 3 months I will be doing many videos exposing Oli London. I had enough with Oli, and I think now is the right timing to speak out about the truth.
And many videos she did. Plastering herself over YouTube, Frenchy revealed the truth behind her and Ollie's relationship.
When I met Oli 2 years ago, he was really nice. And then within a year, it started changing and becoming extremely fake, like a snake, you know?
That's all well and good, darling, but it's a bit concerning that you don't believe in snakes. Maybe it's just lost in they're like baguettes, covered in skin, like my giant cock.
But basically, he's very fake. Also, Oli has been writing his own press release for about 2 years now. But Oli is writing press release about himself every week.
All of this is hearsay, but I probably could have told you that one, love. Who on earth's going university, getting a degree, and then reporting on Ollie London? And before you start, I didn't go uni alright. I'm uneducated.
A lot of you guys are so right through his game, how fake he was. Oli is not a true army.
Posting more videos than I have in the last 2 years, Frenchy went on a tirade exposing all of Ollie's secrets.
Basically what's going on is I cut off Oli London from my life 3 weeks ago because he's a piece of shit loser.
According to Frenchy, she has thousands of voice messages, including an array of admissions.
He should be really worried because he has a lot of really bad stuff he's been hiding, including this.
And gal can't wait to share them with the world.
Every time I do a music video, it's like, if it's £1 million, it's £1,000. So, if I just keep releasing music videos, that's like enough. And then also because I've been a lot on Twitter, there's been so many people talking about me on Twitter because I'm supporting the Black Lives Matter and protests and stuff. So, I'm just staying relevant.
Okay, so let me clarify that. He's using Black Lives Matter so he can stay relevant, so he can make money.
Performative activism on my internet? That's disgusting. Just like how women are treated in this world. Can I get a moment of silence, please, for women? I'm the only person in this room, and I'm never shutting up.
I'm a fan. Everybody loves you. Thank you for being brutally honest.
I'll say one thing.
Alright, mate, one more thing, but keep it snappy.
Frenchy's not racist. She likes BBC.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Alright, moving on. You would think being accused of piggybacking societal issues for fiscal gain and becoming public enemy #1 of the world's most rabid fan base would be a hindrance to one's career. But Ollie's booked blessed and unbothered. As the UK's most prominent K-pop superstar, Ollie was invited to join the judging panel of the UK's K-pop competition, a talent show for budding K-pop inspired artists. That sounds horrific. Also in attendance was the UK's first K-pop girl band, Kaachi. With 4 members, of which only one is Korean, there's really no reason to call these gals a K-pop group, other than the free press it would generate. It's all very Jessie Nelson if you ask me. As shown in a TV special produced by Channel 4, Kaachi's attempts of cracking the industry were orchestrated, in part, by a young Oliver, who took up the role of their publicist.
They've been working so hard on this moment. The girls have got amazing outfits, they've got amazing makeup and hair. So, this is a make or break day.
Amazing out! Holly, mate, I think you're reading the label wrong, son. It's pronounced Amazon! The 10-minute programme followed the creation of their debut, Your Turn. Yeah, I really want to perforate my own bloody eardrums. Sorry to be the one to break it to you, darling, but you're all deficient in talent, star quality, and charisma. Not my words.
They have no star quality whatsoever. They're super boring. Coco's sweet, but the rest, they don't have the charisma. I'm sorry to say it, there might be some catchy fancy. They do not have charisma. They do not have star power.
Ollie, that is a bit sport calling the Tupperware plastic, don't you think?
They were never stars in the first place. They never will be.
Uploading a now deleted video titled Kaachi exposed the truth. Ollie's main gripe with the gals was the band manager Monica's attempts to remove them from the Channel 4 documentary.
Monica's a mess. Coco's very sweet, but Nicole and Danny, they're just rude. Nicole's super fake. She pretends to be nice. She's fake. Girl, I've just done all this for you. I've just made you. I've got you in the press, got you 10 million views in the music video, got you a TV show.
Luckily for Matey Boy, Kaachi has about as much support as their deviated septum, so the backlash was pretty minimal. And maybe my moral compass is a little bit skewed, but I'm Team Ollie on this one. Over 15 million views those gals got on that music video, but they weren't the only ones to benefit from the commotion.
Bugger shipper. I am here to give you guys a big shout out.
Thanks to Ollie becoming a K-pop laughing stock, their Cameo account, a service wherein you can buy personalised video messages, is absolutely booming. For 36 shiny British pounds, Ollie will wish you congratulations, commiserations, or whatever the hell this is.
Sang a chicka hamnida, sang a chicka hamnida, sang Hanan is your Layla she, sang a chicka hamnida.
I think it's a thinly veiled threat. I can only imagine young BTS fans buying Ollie cameos for their mates as some kind of hilarious, ironic joke. Well, who's laughing now, boys? They've got over 500 reviews! 500 cameos at £36 a pop! Well, you boys do the maths on that one, Will. It might be a bit hard for you. It's over 17 grand! Welcome to the digital age, boys, where you can set yourself alight and sell tickets to the show. Of course, Ollie's not the first public enemy to cash in on their infamy, but it goes to prove just how much you can profit from outrage. So congratulations, mate. Enjoy the money. I hope it makes you very happy. And I hope now you use it to buy a Jumbo Olaplex number 3, because your ends are about as supple as my eczema during the winter months. Don't look at my hands. They're dry. That's ableist. Having secured a pretty decent income and ridden the many waves of cancellation, Ollie was feeling on top of the world. Indestructible. And then they went and spoiled it all by saying something stupid like, I'm Asian. At what point do I become the racist one?
Hey guys, I just want to take this chance to, come out today.
Jesus Christ, Olive, what have we done here? Can you go back in? Kinda hard to look at you. In a video uploaded June 26, 2021, entitled Being Korean, Ollie reveals a change in heart when it comes to their previous notion of not wanting to change race.
I identify as Korean, that's just my culture, that's my home country, that's exactly how I look now. And I also identify as Jimin, that's my Korean name.
Oh god, beauty really is in the eye of the beholder, innit? Because you say Jimin and I say decommissioned wax figure from the 80s. Alongside their new identity, Ollie also shared updated pronouns.
So I can be addressed as they, them, Korean or Jimin. So they/them/ Jimin/ Korean.
You/R/A/dickhead. Those are just nouns, Oliver. Proper nouns if you're in the business of impressing school children. And if you are, stay out of it, alright? This industry's not big enough for the both of us.
People online, like YouTubers, they always say, oh, he does things for attention. Like, nobody would do this for attention.
Yes, they would, because you literally are. If none of this was for attention, Oliver, why is every procedure documented and distributed, you absolute ball bag? You little plonker, you silly sausage.
And I finally have the Korean look, so I'm actually really happy.
You know what, mate? I am happy that you're happy. It's all everyone deserves in life, innit? Just a little sliver of joy. But have you ever thought about my feelings?
Thank you so much, guys. I love you all, and thank you to everyone's support. I really appreciate it.
I'm a method actor, baby. As you can imagine, this ruffled a few feathers. Ollie's attempts of aligning themselves with the Alphabet Squad, and therefore passing off any and all judgment as a predictable prejudice, was in my opinion a big juicy misstep. Can't you just keep it silly, Oliver? Go on Dr. Phil and marry cardboard cutouts. There's no need to be so bloody serious. We want fun and flirtation. Maybe it's just me. I want fun and flirtatious, and I want it now. There's nothing quite like a freak segment on British daytime television, and on the 6th of July, it was Oli London's time to grace the This Morning sofa.
Thank you for being here. So,
안녕하세요. Hi guys.
On the sofa with Holly and Phil, Ollie reveals they have a strained relationship with their parents due to all this shite.
They never like me having surgery, even if I have lip filler, but this has been the worst because they're actually not speaking to me right now, so I feel very lonely.
I hope that improves.
Oh, my parents don't support my decision to mutilate my... Cry me another river, Oliver. You know how many people out there don't get support from their parents, and they're normal? Alright, maybe I was projecting there a little. Why doesn't my dad love me? I'm joking. And it's fair to say it didn't go down too well, with over 100 complaints to TV regulator Ofcom. And it wasn't just This Morning where Ollie was fighting their corner. In October of 2021, Ollie appeared in a BBC special, Being British East Asian, headed by Chinese journalist Elaine Chong. Elaine accompanies Ollie to our old friend Dr. Didar's office, and this time Ollie is attempting to remove the crease of their eyelid in an effort to look more bloody Korean. Are you even paying attention? Go back to the beginning and watch the ads this time. These Arctic fleeces won't pay for themselves. And the tension in the room heats up when Ollie draws a comparison between them wanting to look Korean and East Asian beauty standards being influenced by the West.
It's sad that people want to change because they've seen a magazine, but unfortunately that's just the way it is.
I think it's a very white privileged thing to say, oh, okay, they want to look Western. I do get upset by this.
Decision.
I do get
not affecting your life.
To Ollie, there's no issue in them messing around with their eyes if they're not the only one. And you can see the exact moment this woman realises Ollie's not just mental, they're also a bit of an arsehole.
If you go to China, I've lived in Korea for a year, I've been to China. Everywhere you go is Western beauty ideals.
Ollie is making reference to the cosmetic enhancement culture found within South Korea, where it's estimated a third of all ladies have undergone the knife.
You're basically saying in a very subtle way that I'm trying to be racist because I'm trying to change the way I look.
Actually, no, that's not what I'm doing.
Should we cut this? Should we cut this?
Don't cut the cameras, Oliver. This is the best Turing test Dr. Frankenstein could have hoped for. Look at him, he's throbbing. I hope not. Probably breaks an Hippocratic oath.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't think Asian people...
You're trying to make this about race. It's not about race. It's about I want to look a certain way.
It all gets a bit much, and Love needs to leave the room. And I don't blame her. Too much time spent around that lot, and I'd think I was an iRobot or something.
So me and Jimin have decided we are going to get a divorce. Yes, D-I-V-O-R-C-E. We are getting a divorce.
Oh, Wally, I didn't know you could spell. If you have a heart long enough, it is bound to break. And Ollie found this out the hard way when it was announced after 2 years of blissful marriage, Ollie and cardboard Jimin would be going their separate ways.
We literally have so many differences, and Jimin doesn't even talk to me anymore. You know, cardboard Jimin, you see, he's not even talking now, he doesn't talk to me.
Oh, God, well, I guess true love's not real then, boys. There's no hope for any of us. Just make sure you dispose of him correctly, yeah, Oliver? He must be 90% human fluids at this point. And of course, Ollie took this as an opportunity to release a music video.
Jimin said he loves me every day. Whoa. Now I'm eating kimchi all on my own.
Wow, that was breathtaking. Like a respiratory infection, or being buried alive. Name Korean Boy the Jimin breakup song. It really is just another hot scoop on top of the already steaming mound that is Ollie's discography. God, I'm such a nasty bastard. Ollie, if you're watching this, you're so strong. Keep going though, because I think I can break you before the end.
I woke up one morning and Jimin was gone. He's my Korean boy. Oh, I miss my Korean boy.
And I miss the quality of my life before I laid eyes upon your conjunctivitis. But alas, the world keeps on turning, and so does my stomach. I'm so theatrical. Maybe I should stop drinking Red Bulls and then I won't shit blood. In the breakup video, Ollie blames their audience for interfering with their love.
You win. You can have Jimin back. I was being selfish. Okay, I kept Jimin all to myself. You guys can have him back.
Honestly, mate, I do appreciate the offer, but there's not a single room left at my inn. I'm absolutely riddled. If a knob could have an expiration date, mine would have been last week. But it's nice to know I'm in good company. In February of this year, Ollie announced future plans to finesse every inch of their physique by being shaved down like a shish kebab. Why did no one tell me about that? God, I could have saved myself a fortune in knee-high socks and duct tape. Regarding the big snip, Ollie told reputable source Newsweek, I would even have a knob reduction, so I'm like the Korean average. That's how far I'm willing to go. I can have it done in Thailand, and it will cost between $6,000 and $8,000. Thailand's cheaper, and to be honest, they do specialise in those kind of things. $8,000! Give me a pair of pliers, 2 cable ties, and a crisp £20 note, and I'll have the job done last week. 6 to 8. That might not be sanitary, but it'll be off. And if you pay extra, I'll use my teeth. My entire face will be Korean. What can I do next? Have you tried giving up? There's no shame in quitting, Oliver. Sometimes it's the most noble of acts. Oh, practice makes no, it doesn't. In life, you need to be born with an innate je ne sais quoi. And if you ain't got it, you're never gonna get it. Sorry. And if you thought Ollie couldn't embarrass themselves anymore, they only decided to be a bloody TikTok star.
Tell me you're Asian without telling me you're Asian.
Do you belong to a nation that's uniquely patriotic? Well, congratulations. You're on Ollie's hit list.
Salam alaikum, masalama. I do speak some Arabic. Like, I speak so many languages, I can't even keep up. Marhaba. What's up? I've just arrived in Turkey, so today I'm going to be teaching some Turkish. Kamusta, kamusta ka, Philippines.
It's all desperate straw clutching at this point, and it doesn't impress Amia much. If you're gonna do it, Oliver, you need to go all out. Dress up as Selena Quintanilla. Funnel refried beans into your ass. Don't do that. Actually do it. In the centre of Ciudad de Mexico.
Konnichiwa, arigato, gozaimasu, adinki desu ka.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon. Tamagotchi, Hello Kitty.
What's up, guys? I've been watching so much anime, I'm feeling really Japanese right now.
Ollie, watching anime doesn't make you Japanese. I'm more Japanese than you are. I frequently sleep in my office, and I've always got a niggling feeling of suicide. I'm so joking. That's a joke, alright? Please laugh. And with nearly 1 million followers, it seems to be going alright. Don't think the same could be said for whatever's happening in that frontal lobe, though. There's just something about adults doing TikTok dances that makes me violently uncomfortable. I'd love to know the thought process if any of you partake. Just spring out of bed in the morning, throbbing to do an 8 count. Oh God, don't talk to me first thing. I'm terrible before my morning nay-nay. That's how you all sound to me. Get a job, donate blood, look after your kids. Do you want a baby with me? And it wasn't just TikTok where Ollie was showing their dramatic flair.
My name is Oliver.
Knock, knock, knock. Did somebody order a thespian? Ollie made their acting debut earlier this year in the short docudrama Gangnam Beauty, which is currently doing the rounds at film festivals across the country, across America. I think it's just in America.
You are my ultimate idol. You've no idea how much you mean to me.
I don't need to be told how people feel about me, Oliver. Have you seen my Instagram comments recently? If I left it another week, I would have been a featured guest on Crime Watch. I'm here, boys. No need to mourn the living. In recent weeks, Ollie has decided to live life as a Korean woman. And this time, it's Rosé from girl band Blackpink. Blackpink in your area. That's the only lyrics I could possibly ever know. And I've only ever seen them written down, so there you go, Stans. Have your feel. Are you going to stop leaving me death threats in the comments now? It's not my fault I can't pronounce things. I've got a thick British tongue, and I don't know what to do with it.
The sour candy, so sweet when you get a little angry,
yeah. Sour candy, yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, it's nice to see someone getting use out of Liam Payne's wig. Flammable and plastic. I wouldn't wear it in a casket. Although if I was dead, I probably wouldn't have a choice. If any of you strap an hard front on my corpse, I'm battering you in hell. Are you intimidated? What about now?
I should totally be the 5th member of Blackpink, and my new name is Oli London.
Is this Ollie's final form, or are they yet again stirring the pot? Who knows, boys? Luckily, I don't discriminate. I'll cyberbully everyone. If you've got a pulse, I've got a problem. And even after that, to be fair, I've taught loads of shit on dead people. In my humble and always correct opinion, Ollie wanted to springboard an illustrious influencer career using the controversy as a catalyst.
I've had so many threats, it's been really horrendous. I've had people saying they don't know where I live. People have made petitions online saying that I should be sent in a rocket to space off the planet Earth.
They were never booking Jules Holland, but I did sense a small amount of pride in their early works. Pride which visibly deteriorates over the years, where it's become less about impressing and more about repulsing. It's far easier to be the most disliked person in a room than to possess the biggest talent. You could argue Ollie is young and confused and we shouldn't pick apart the mere fabric of who they are, but I'm not convinced. I don't think Ollie gives a shite how they identify, as long as we're talking about it. The end. Crikey boys, what an emotional journey that was. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, and you're so inclined, you can leave me a like. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below in the comment box. And if you want more videos from me, you can always subscribe. I upload them all the bloody time. Cheers for watching as always, and I'll see you boys next time. Well, if you're good. Bye!